Welcome to Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey. As always, I greatly appreciate you joining me today. We got something totally off the wall today. We're going to show you about this beautiful facility we have been staying at this week. It's called the Beauvoir here in Biloxi, Mississippi. It is rich in history. I think you'll find it's interesting, so stay tuned. The property here, the Beauvoir, is just absolutely gorgeous. It is right on the coast, and this land was actually purchased by Jefferson Davis, who was the president of the Confederacy. Of course, after the Civil War, all that changed. This is his library dedicated to the president of the Confederacy, just like you have President Clinton's library in in Little Rock, Arkansas. You have President Jimmy Carter's library in Atlanta. You have all of them everywhere, but this is the only one that was dedicated to the Confederacy. And that is actually his home place right there behind this building here. We'll go look at that in just a second, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's a little bit of additional information. This was built in 1852. It's the last home of Jefferson Davis. He was a U.S. Senator, Congressman, Secretary of War, and the only president of the Confederacy. Beauvoir, however you want to say it, served as a Confederate veterans home from 1903 to 1956. So we'll go over now and give you a little better shot of the home, and that's actually been here for a long time. So if you can imagine, this is property that Jefferson Davis bought. That is his home. And I can't imagine what it looked like in the mid-1800s, but this was his view. Now, I don't know if there was beach all the time and how much trees were here, but this is his home. And it has withstood several hurricanes. Now, we're actually staying in this cottage right next door to it, and it was actually destroyed back, I think, in 2005 by a hurricane. It's been rebuilt, but it was built back to the same exact design as much as they could from the original building before it was destroyed by a hurricane. We'll take a little closer picture of that here in just a minute, a little better picture. But it's just gorgeous. Again, the traditional large southern oaks that you have, and just beautiful. This is our little cottage. It's just a one bedroom, one bath cottage, but it is built as it was originally back in the mid 1800s. But as I said earlier, it was destroyed by a hurricane, and all that was left was just a foundation, but they came back and rebuilt it as close as they could to the original specs. As you can see, we've got our race car trailer stuff back here in the back. Move up here. And there's our truck we've been having a little bit of fun with this week at Cruising the Coast. But this property serves as something very, very important, and that is a memorial site for a lot of Confederate soldiers. So let's go take a look at that now. You'll also be able to get a little better picture of the library here in just a second, but this is the backside of the house. A massive house, if you can imagine, built back in the day. But there's a better view of the library. They have about 80 total acres here, and it is laid out with lots of gardens area, and just gorgeous. Very quiet. They do tours of the Davis home, and obviously you can tour the library as well. There's a lot of old artifacts around the property. But what I'm going to show you is the memorial site first, the grave site for a lot of the Confederate soldiers. being down there fishing. After the Civil War, obviously the Confederates kind of got pushed to the backside. However, there's groups around the South who take the history of the Confederates very, very seriously, as in this unknown soldier tomb that's dedicated to him. And this graveyard here all represents soldiers and are grave sites of Confederate soldiers. And it's really somber to see. The property does a really good job. They keep fresh flags out here on every location, and they actually give those away. The old flags, as they replace them, they'll give those away to people who visit the library. This is a map, a layout of the cemetery. It tells you where you're at, and then all the different grave locations. Then you can come in, you can find the corresponding names. I'm looking here, there was a Jesse Humphrey. I've actually got his kinfolks here. Row 23, Section B, Column 5. He was a private, Company F 2nd. Looks like he was North Carolina Infantry. It's really interesting here. This is Alan Richardson Frazier. Gives the background on where he's at, and we're just looking here. We're going to try to find Jesse Humphrey's gravesite, and we'll see if we can figure this out here. It tells you the row and the column, so we know by that we should be able to find it. It should be right here in the middle here somewhere. So let's see if we can go find this grave. Okay, we got this figured out finally, and row 23 would start right here, coming in through the archway going to, I'm sorry about the sun, but the archway going into the unknown tomb of the unknown soldier. But row 5, and here you find Private Jesse Humphrey from North Carolina Infantry, Company F 2nd Infantry. There's North Carolina. So it's pretty sobering. You just consider all the lives that were lost in the Civil War. And I'm proud to have a distant relative represented here. Well, as I was saying, it's very sobering when you realize the lives that was lost. But we're gonna go ahead and show you now some of the other areas of the park out here, and it's just really gorgeous. It's a very nice area down here, the creek area. They say you can come there, you can watch the raccoons feed, and this comes up on the other side of the library. This is the main entrance and all into the library, and you can see just how big a facility is. They rent these spots out for everyone who attends the Cruising the Coast. Again, that's back looking towards the south, towards the Gulf there. And but I encourage you to come here and visit if you get a chance. I know that was real brief, but it's just really pretty, and it's a lot of history here. The museum's already closed down, but there's just slam full of artifacts in there. Everything from wagons to cannons to lots of literature, and obviously books. Being in the library, a lot of historical information if you are into that. So encourage you to come out and check it out. actually restrooms in some facility, plus they're equipped with showers in there as well. You can rent the cottage where we're staying. That is available for like $150 a night. And if you're ever in the area, if it's available, you can stay there. Well, we are back at the cottage where we're staying. We've got to go get to a dinner party tonight being thrown by a friend of ours, so we're going to get in there and get ready real quick and see if we can hit the road.